In this video I'm going to show you how to use some common adjustment layers for non-destructive editing. What are adjustment layers? It is a layer that lets you apply color and tonal adjustments to your image without permanently damaging it. First, open your adjustment window. To do that, go to Window and choose Adjustments. (1) Brightness, Contrast. Let us add brightness contrast. There is an auto button, which means Photoshop will adjust the brightness and contrast of your image in the most presentable way. Dragging your slider to the left decreases the value and makes your image darker, and if you drag it to the right, it will get brighter. You may also adjust the contrast slider. If you drag it to the right, you will see the image will look more vibrant and more saturated. And then there is Use Legacy. Since the newer version of Photoshop works a little differently than the older version, enabling this option will make this adjustment option act in the old way. 2. Levels. Next, let us add a levels. First, there are different presets that are readily available where Photoshop sets the best values for your image. And then you can also do it manually. As we can see, there is a histogram in this section. This shows how many shadows, midtones, and highlights are there in your image. Adjusting your shadows to the right makes your image darker. Then when you adjust your highlights by going to the left, you will notice that those light colors become more bright. And the middle slider, which is the midtones, where you can adjust whether you want your image to go darker or brighter. You may also adjust the black and white points of your image in this section. You can still choose Auto if you just want to make a quick adjustment to your image. 3. Exposure. We can also use exposure to adjust your image tonal values. There is also a preset value for this, but let us discuss those three sliders. First, the exposure. From the word itself, it sets your image's appearance. If you drag your slider to the left, it will become darker, and if you go the opposite way, it will become brighter. Then offset, where you can adjust the shadows of your image. If you slide to the left, the darker it gets, and if you go to the right, it will brighten up your image to the point where it looks like there's an opaque layer over it. And last is the gamma correction, where it controls the overall brightness of an image. Remember, if you overexpose your image, it will become too bright, and if it is underexposed, your image will look too dark. 4. Vibrance. If you adjust the Vibrance slider to the left, your image looks less vibrant and almost looks pale. But if you adjust going to the right, you will see how the saturation level of your image adjusts and makes it look more vibrant. And there is saturation, where if you adjust the slider to the right to 100, your image will become too saturated to the point where it extremely adjusts the color of your image. And when you adjust the slider all the way to the left, it will desaturate your image and turn it into black and white. 5. Hue, Saturation. And there is hue saturation, where for me this is the most used adjustment effect. There is also a list of presets in this adjustment that you can use for a quick image adjustment. First is hue. If you adjust the slider, you will notice that some color portions of an image will change, except for the black and white. Next is saturation. Similar to Vibrance, if you adjust the slider to the right to 100, it will become too saturated, and if you go to the left, it will desaturate your image. And there is lightness, where if you drag your slider to the left, your image will become darker, and if you go to the other side, your image will become brighter. 6. Black and white. Unlike saturation levels, where if you turn your slider to the left, it blacks out the whole image. Same with the right side, where you turn your image into white. As you can see, when you apply this adjustment layer, it will automatically turn your image black and white. If you adjust the slider, for example, greens, you will notice that the plant contains a green range of color and you can either make it darker or lighter. Let us disable the effect for you to see the plant color. To do that, click on the eye icon beside your layer. As you can see here, the color of the plant is green. That is why the green slider only affects that certain portion of the image. Let us try to adjust the yellows, where the shirt of the woman is in the range of yellow. When we say range, it is either a darker or lighter shade. Let us try another color shade, which is magenta. See these two elements where they are within the magenta color range. Let us adjust the slider and see if they will become lighter or darker. There you go, since we are adjusting the magenta range, all parts of the image within that color range will adjust. 7. And last on my list is the gradient map. Let us select the gradient map to apply to our image. Then, to adjust the gradient color, you may click on the gradient area. And it will load a gradient editor. You can manually adjust the color in this section. To change the color, you may just need to double-click in the middle of the pointer to load the color picker box. From there, you may choose what color you would like to use. And then there's a preset, where there is a different range and combination of the gradient colors. Let us try blues and pick one of the gradient presets. Then click OK. You may also try to click reverse to see how it affects the image. It looks good how the blue color blends with the image, and the best thing is that your image is still intact. There you have it, the most common adjustment layer effect that you can use for basic photo editing. If you have any suggestions, comments, or ideas, please feel free to write them in the comments section below. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. See you on the next video and thank you for watching.